I am representing the interests of the students that attend here. I am also representing you who voted me here in the community to represent your interests on a very, very special college. And I would just like to say that I am a former student here, so I can really relate. And I have gone on to come back and serve. This will be my 8th term. I attended the college here. I went on to USF and San Francisco State, where I received a lifetime teaching credential. I went on for a graduate degree at USF, and I have a library credential. And it has been a pleasure and a delight. I have taught in the Dixie School District. I have taught in the Kentfield School District. I have been throughout the Bay Area as a substitute teacher, and I love teaching and education, and I'm now serving as a trustee. Well, I am not here to micromanage in areas that we pay educators to do who have a lot more experience. I can tell you that at this college we serve 5 different student groups which I have identified, and I think it's very important that our mission statement clarify exactly what our funding will be and how we are going to meet the needs of those students in the 5 different student groups. I think we need to also, I would say, number 3 on that would be targeting our budget and how much we are going to allocate to each one of those groups so that we are very clear, the public is clear, and we will continue to stay on track so that we can let the students know what this college is about. It's stated in our mission statement, and the public is clearly informed on every aspect of what we're about and what we're doing with finances. Well, it's always very good, like I said, if we can be open with simple statements that clarify specifically what those funds are going for, that we have oversight on those funds, and that people would not be intimidated and could feel free to ask whatever questions they wanted and get honest answers. I am not a clone of the administration. I continue to question things that don't make sense to me, or where I see waste, or where I think that there is too much extravagance in one area, or where there specifically is no benefit in the classroom or to the students. And there has really been no bigger public advocate for financial balancing for whatever it is than my statements and my questions that I've asked over the years. I think it's very important that I set aside my interests and that I just look at what it is my job is, and I am continually reminded of that. One issue that we're dealing with is public-private partnerships, and I think that this should be really evaluated as to the gain for the students. What I've seen is that business is profiting much more than the students gain. An example would be Pearson Publishing. Their profit, they are the publisher of a lot of our books, was $2.9 billion in 2009. The projected profit of Pearson Publishing by 2016 is $6.9 billion. That would go with all the changes that are taking place as we see students being forced, really, in many cases, inappropriately, to go from interaction with a trained teacher to a computer. And I think the public needs to look and hear both sides of that issue. And I'm not sure that there's anyone else to talk about the rest of the story. And I think that's important. The public needs to hear that, and our students need to know we do listen. There is someone there to hear what they have to say when there is a problem. We would always look at the student and what their benefit will be, whether this is in the classroom, whether this is going to help a teacher, whether this is whatever it is. And I think it's very important that we keep that in mind, because many times what we say and what we do is totally the opposite. And that can be a bit discouraging. I think it's important that we have elected board members with different views and different ideas. I welcome that. We have enthusiastic people. We all bring different gifts to the board, and I have shared with them some of the benefits that they have brought to the board in the past. My gifts in turn may be different, and not everybody is going to agree, but that's the way that's what we're there for. The Ed Code is doing its best to try to cover all the territories. That's very hard to do. Over the years, I've seen many ups and downs at this college. I think that will always be there. We need to have the flexibility to deal with the Ed Codes, be lawful in what we do, and yet uphold the oath of office that we take in this state and to the United States. It's a balance, and I do not accept any money from any groups, so I have no vested interest, and I am free to vote on the merit of the issue. Sometimes I'm with one side, sometimes with another, and that issue comes up, I may be with the side that I have gone against previously, but that's what that's about. Well, I think we've seen what happens. All we have to do is look in the news and we can see problems that are going on where there is no constitution, where people do not uphold the oath of office that they take, and it's a tremendous problem. I'm running so that I can continue to be a voice that others may not represent, as I hope I've clarified in my earlier statements. These are issues that I bring to the board that are not brought by anybody else. You've liked my presence, and I just love it. This is a real asset to the county for people that are seeking help from any of those 5 student groups. And I'm talking about ADA, the Senior Emeritus Program, our transfer students, our job training, and I think that this is a wonderful opportunity. We need to be clear and give students what they want. They will be our best advertisers. That is what will increase the enrollment. On our end of it, we need to be specific to let them know that we're not going to just cut classes. We're not going to just increase fees all the time, and that they can, within a reasonable time, reach their goals. That's why I've said we need to specify how much of our funding is going to go to each one of those 5 student groups, and let students decide for themselves whether that's something that they can manage. I also find there's disparity between levels that are set at the federal level. They may give us an initial grant, and then they ask for local support if we like that program. And it's often very hard to reach issues of concern at the federal level or the state level that we have in the past dealt with just locally. And it's like someone may give money to a program, And that money is not going to stay in Marin. That may be going to somewhere in Los Angeles or any place. So that's an issue. And accreditation is an issue that we have dealt with. We need to continue to work with that and stay in accredited college. And I think sometimes there's too much paperwork involved and not enough time for teachers to be in the classroom. And the pressures that are there for both students and our current faculty. And how many of you knew 43 resigned or have retired just this year? And to replace those 43 tenured teachers is going not to be easy. So the education that we've been offering in the past, is that something that we will still be offering in the future?